Hasn't
I don't
started
know
yet.
why. Yay, now it's
Yo!
live.
Hello, everyone. This is Darcinovio once again with Comrade Falcone General. Wow, things have been going crazy. I mean, Jesus. I mean, Israel just cannot resist fucking doing what it does to freaking the Palestinian people. It's ridiculous. And the mainstream media in every fucking country is trying to place the blame on the Palestinians or making it seem like there's violence on both sides. Well, we all know it's mostly the Israelis that are committing the fucking violence.
Like, yeah, like literally, they're just going out there and just like starting to like do like literal attacks against the Palestinians, like what happened in a mosque. Remember?
Oh
Where
yeah,
then,
they even attacked
Hamas.
a Arab Jew. They lynched
Shit.
him.
Shit.
It's like
Got
Israelis
that
just don't
thing.
give a shit. They'll attack anybody that looks Arab to them. It's like, how
Yeah.
is Israel not a freaking white supremacist fascist state when they will even attack Jews?
Yeah. The other thing I was also gonna say is this, like, literally, as well as like, then I actually wrote like a whole statement. My party wrote a whole statement talking about literally the whole thing happening in Palestine called Death to Zionism.
You could
Do
read
you
that
want me to go
statement
through
read it out loud right now.
it? Okay, let me get it. I think I sent a message to one of my comrades of the statement. Let me find it. Okay. It says Mouse Rebel News youth statement, Death to Zionism. The statement was written by the General Secretary of MRN Youth. Death to Zionism. Comrades and cadres, due to the recent events happening in Palestine, we issued this statement in solidarity with Palestinians. With the Zionist fascists attacking innocent Palestinians in Jerusalem while they're praying to Allah, the fascist army and the reactionaries come in to attack the innocent people in the mosque, where Hamas launches rockets against the fascist state in retaliation for them attacking the Palestinians. We must all know that Zionism is not Judaism, and Zionists are not.
Are you there, Falcone?
Can you
I
still
think
hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Oh God, this. Okay, sorry. Just continue speaking.
Alright. So where was it? We must all know that Zionism is not Judaism. Zionists are not Jewish. They are fascists. Zionism is fascism. Israel is not a Jewish state. It is an illegal, illegitimate country that has no right to exist. This is Arab land that they occupy that was never theirs. We call for freeing Palestine and death to Israel, a fascist settler colonial state, death to Zionism, a fascist ideology that does genocide to Palestinians, and the fascist and Zionist state of Israel is supported by the reactionary armies of China and the United States. Our last words are death to Zionism, down with fascism, free Palestine.
Is that it?
Yep. It's
Well,
not that long.
I agree with it. I mean, honestly, is there really a difference to what Israel is doing in Palestine to what America is doing to the Indians or Canada or Australia or any colonial fucking country that exists? Is there really a difference?
No.
It's like Zionism is just another offshoot of Americanism, and I'm just gonna say this: I do believe America, if it's not the very first fascist country that's existed, it's one of the first fascist countries to have ever existed, because what Americanism and spawned Nazism and Zionism, which are basically the same side of the same coin. It's like there really isn't much of a difference between the two. They're all anti-Semitic.
Yeah, the other thing is like this, even like some Zionists allied with the Nazis during World War II.
Yeah.
There's like evidence of that.
And Benjamin Netanyahu fucking did say some shit a few years ago. Look it up. He was actually literally a Hitler apologist.
Yeah,
it's not.
You know what he said? He said this: Hitler didn't really hate the Jews. It was a Muslim that convinced him to kill all the Jews.
I seriously, people, type it right now. Benjamin Netanyahu, and Hitler. It's gonna shock you and disgust you.
Oh wait, I think you should share this to your screen. Let me first get the screenshot. Where basically,
what's disgusting is the settlers created memes regarding what's going on. It's fucking this. It's sick. It really is sick.
I sent it in the private chat. Go check it.
Oh, private chat? Okay. I thought it was on Discord. All right. Oh, yeah. You want me to show this clip? Oh.
Yeah, share the screen.
I'll
basically screen share it.
All right, well, that's easy to do, relatively. I wish I was making this shit up. I really wish I was. But this shit, you could not make this shit up. You
cannot.
Read this.
Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews at the time. Netanyahu says Hitler didn't want to kill Jews, but a Muslim convinced him to do it.
This is literally Nazi apologelia. Basically apologizing for the crimes of the Nazis.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't believe, like, us, that Zionism and Nazism are connected, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you.
Also, death to Israel shouldn't exist. Fuck
of
Israel.
Course,
also,
I want to address some comments here.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Israel is exactly what we say about North Korea.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's true.
Gal Gadot is a fucking fascist cunt. So what can you expect?
Fuck her. No wonder why the Phantom Menace really has like a circle jerk around her. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking hate that bitch.
I can't stand her. It's one of the reasons I can't watch Wonder Woman.
I'll never watch it. That's why I never. Oh wait, I'm not actually gonna watch Wonder Woman 2 because I don't want to support that Zionist fascist.
And one thing we got to address here is there is no such thing as a good version of Zionism. All of it is fascist.
Yeah, even like this bullshit like labor Zionism or some shit like that. Or literally, this is the dumb shit. There's like this the Communist Party of Israel. It's like a revisionist party that likes parliamentarianism, and this is what their stance on Zionism is: non-Zionism, not even anti-Zionism. But I see members called from that party call literally the Bundes movement bourgeois nationalist and some shit like that, and lie about the Bundes movement and smear them all day, which is so funny to me.
Of course they do, because they're fascists. Fascists always have to lie in order to have their illegitimate country be legitimate.
Like, it's so funny to me.
I know there's other people who on the leftists that know a lot more about colonialism than I'm just giving my thoughts of what's currently going on in Israel. It's nothing new. That's the thing. People are starting to wake up and see Israel for the fascist state that it is. But it doesn't change the fact that Israel's been doing this for decades. It's nothing new. And the far right in Israel is just enabling these fucking, and I'm just going to say this, psychopathic settlers to basically do what they want without any consequences. This is the kind of shit. This is the kind of shit that happened in the United States a century ago. With black people. This is no fucking difference. No, and you're not going to tell a black leftist not to support Palestine because they experience the same fucking conditions. Like, get out of here with this liberal fucking garbage. Anyone that wants to throw that there's a conflict on both sides. No, Hamas is maybe reactionary, but the Israelis give the Palestinians no other choice. Who the hell are they going to, support? The person that supports them or the people that sell them out?
Also, here's my solution to what should happen to Israel. Deport all the Zionists back to Europe and leave the rest of it to Arabs there. Palestine for the Arabs, one-state solution. They're done. The easy solution.
Yeah, but you got to take consideration, Europeans are the reason Israel exists in the first place. They did nothing to stop Hitler like almost a century ago to commit one of the worst Holocausts in human history. They didn't do anything about it. So if you ask me, America, Europe, they all are to blame for Israel's existence. The only European country that actually fought against fucking the fascists in World War II was the fucking Eastern European countries. It wasn't the Western ones. They either keeled over or barely put up a fight.
Yeah. Like, the other thing as well is, like, literally, I was also gonna mention is this, like, literally, like, I also see the hypocrisy where, like, people go, like, oh, like, who claim to be Marxist, but they end up being, like, chauvinists who go, like, oh, well, we support Palestine and freeing, Palestine and all that shit. And next, literally, when it comes to other struggles, against settler colonialism in Australia, New Zealand, or, for example, in the United States or Canada, ooh, let's keep our mouths zipped, or basically just shit on the indigenous people or the black people in these settler colonial states, guys.
There is no hypocrisy. We shouldn't give the Palestinians any conditions, for support. And that's I've heard for some people regarding the situation with Hamas. No, you're not. It's like these people that are victims of fucking neocolonialism. We shouldn't give them, conditional support. That's bullshit. We will only support you if you do this and that. No. That's not how it works. No, you're not the one who is like suffering in the boot of colonialism.
Oh wait, can I address this one comment that's from Attack of the Menace? Where they're asking us, do we have any Jewish friends, and saying this, Israel's the home of the Jewish people. Does this mean Jewish people are bad? ? No, that's bullshit. Israel's not the home of Jewish people. The Jewish people never consented to that illegal fascist state. Zionism rejects Judaism entirely. Zionists are not Jewish at all. They reject Judaism entirely. And they even kill even kill Jewish people, like Ethiopian Jews as well.
Yeah, Israel is not, a home to the Jews, considering they treat Orthodox Jews like garbage. They even African Jews are like treated as badly as, fucking blacks were 100 years ago in America.
And also, remember, they also lynched Arab Jews as well. They also did, remember you mentioned that when it came to them attacking that mosque as well. And the other thing as well is next, literally, they also people act like we're being anti-Semitic and have no Jewish friends. Motherfucker, we talked to a lot of Jewish people from the fucking Bundist movement. It's such fucking bullshit that we're quote-unquote anti-Semitic for criticizing a fascist state like fucking Israel that has no right to exist. Death to Israel, death to America. They are done.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yes, there are some things that are complicated. That is true, But when it comes to what Israel's plans are in Israel, it's not complicated. They want to wipe out the indigenous population, just like other fucking colonial freaking empires that have existed. Israel's end goal is to basically control the entire Middle East. They're not going to stop with Palestine.
Yeah. The other thing is like literally I also did you hear this that they're supposed to be like invading Gaza and shit like that?
Not a surprise. The stream will be outdated by the time it's that it's done processing. Because let's be honest, it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on right now because freaking so much shit is happening. I mean, shit.
Let me check something. Let me check on the news. Israel IDF continues to prepare for a ground operation in Gaza and all this other shit as well. Let's see. We got some also other news from other places as well. Where in Colombia, several injured after a police clash with protesters as well. And Al-Qassam brigades threaten to escalate conflict if Israel launches a ground offensive in Gaza. Rockets fired from southern Lebanon at Israel.
Are you okay, Falcone?
Yeah, I am. Why?
Okay.
Can you not hear me?
You just cut off just now. That's why.
So basically, it said this: there were some rockets that were launched from South Lebanon against Israel, and basically, a other group is preparing to escalate tension. Basically, like, what was it? Some other group said this that brigades threaten to escalate conflict if Israel launches a ground offensive in Gaza. And also talking about a little bit of current events in Colombia where a couple were injured after a clash with police.
Yeah. Joe Biden said something really that really made me sick. Israel has a right to defend itself. Based on what? And here's the ENGELSIST. What's up, comrade?
No, I'm pretty okay. Probably
Hey, comrade.
Probably can only stay for a short amount of time, but yes, I'll actually be attending a Palestine event soon because of this bullshit, and I just wanted to say full support to the PFLP, support to Hamas, and Israel needs to die, and there is
Death to Israel.
and
also death to America.
The only World War III that would be justified is a World War III between Iran and Israel.
Agreed.
Oh, remember this? There was this other thing that also happened there was this battle between Hezbollah and Israel in southern Lebanon.
Hezbollah didn't launch the attack. It was Palestinian organization.
No, this is what happened in 2006, I'm talking about, where
I
there was
thought you
this
meant
battle between Hezbollah and Israel, where they were trying to conquer a town, and literally Hezbollah only had almost 200 soldiers, while Israel had 5,000. And you know what happened? Israel got his fucking ass kicked, and Hezbollah just literally kicked their fucking asses.
Well, it goes to show you what Mao Zedong said: reactionaries are paper tigers.
Yeah.
I think this reminds me of a joke, which is I know Krav Maga, so I've learnt 26 ways to kick a pregnant Palestinian woman down a stair set, which is about accurate to the IDF.
Yeah.
So
also...
yeah.
Hold on. Let ENGELSIST speak, Falcone, because he has a limited time here.
Yeah, I have 5 minutes. Israel acts like it's this fucking victim state and constantly likes to, harken back to thingy. But we must remember it isn't a Jewish state. In fact, the Jewish Labour Bund fought against it. Most Jews don't live in Israel. Most Jews don't necessarily uncritically support Israel. A lot of them, like a large proportion of them who don't live in Israel, are at least not very supportive of Israel. And this is a thing that we must remember. Now, the thing that we also must remember is that the Arab world, the Palestinians existed for a very long time, and Jews from the time when Palestine was known as Israel and actually was Zion, historically, when the Roman Empire was still around, there were a lot of Jewish people who didn't leave. They were enslaved by the Romans for a few hundred years, which is historically what happened, but there were a lot of Jewish people in Palestine still, and most of them were identified as Palestinian when the settlement of Israel happened. And I feel there's another part of this that people ignore, which is the fact that the British state made this happen. The British
Yes,
state
they
was
did.
basically and I will say that there was a flaw in the communist movement at the time, because Stalin did partially support the founding of Israel, which he
Yeah.
should be criticized for,
Yeah,
and his unnecessary criticism.
Well, it's something that unfortunately most MLs just don't want to talk about.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it should be recognized that that is one of the flaws of Stalin. Stalin has more flaws than that. Like, we aren't religious fanatics. Stalin was a cool guy who had some really cool ideas that mostly turned out to be true. However, he is a man and thus fallible. The whole point is that we need to make institutions that are revolutionary and aren't as fallible as men, or women, or those of unspecified gender.
Yeah.
Not broaden the horizons. But yeah.
Yeah.
So supports to the I've actually ordered Strategy of Liberation by the PFLP from Foreign Language Press, and I will actually be doing a stream on KRTD Media on Sunday with Steve Struggle and Dr. Weisfeld of the Bundist movement on the current events in Palestine.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Fuck
forward
yeah.
to it, ENGELSIST.
Cheers,
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug that shit everywhere. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab myself another beer. One second.
Oh, I was gonna say this. I'll send you basically my party statement called "Death to Zionism" in DMs. But I was gonna say some shit. What was it?
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
is
meant,
scary that Israel has nuclear weapons. I mean, you know what? One
yeah.
racist thing we've heard since 9/11, how we can't
What?
let these Islamic countries get nuclear weapons. Yet Israel is possibly the most warmongering country on the entire planet, even more so than
Yeah.
the United States.
And there's only one country that is religion is like majority Islam that has nuclear weapons, and that's Pakistan. Literally, they're like the only Muslim country that has nuclear weapons, and the only thing they've been doing is like having rising tensions with India, that other fascist state. Like, the other thing is, well, it's like literally the other thing people also forget, like, which I mentioned in my statement, where I mentioned that basically two major powers fund this fascist state called Israel. The United States and China. They're basically the two biggest powers.
Yeah, but
They both.
I found something that China is actually in solidarity with the Palestinians.
That's bullshit.
They are the third largest funder of Israel, though. That is a thing as well.
Yeah.
There is.
Sorry,
They
not gonna lie.
aren't as pro-Israel as America. They aren't as pro-Israel as America, is what I will say. I will clarify that first. However, they are the third largest trading partner, which is rough. And
Yeah.
people generally know my stance on China. I don't bother bringing it up too much because people either already know or like fucking you'll learn eventually. But like
Or we're gonna
I
black.
no, I don't give a shit. If I cared about getting flack, I wouldn't be friends with Jason.
Yeah. I already get flack. Dang,
Listen,
it's
fuck people. Like,
harassing me all.
the thing is, like, I think China's capitalist. If you didn't know that opinion, blah. Anyway, but the thing is they aren't as pro-Israel as America or my country, and I will say that. However, I will not necessarily say that China is a full-on, hero in the Palestinian context,
Well, it's not. No, I just
which
don't.
does have to be seen.
Yeah.
They aren't. There's a lot of people who aren't as bad. Hell, Saudi Arabia. I'm not comparing China to Saudi Arabia, but Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia aren't as bad in the Palestinian context as America or England, but England and America are really fucking bad.
The other thing I was gonna also mention is this, like, literally, for example, like, I have like some documents and stuff like that which I found, which I can give to you like after we're done with the stream, Dark Xenovia, to look at. About
Oh damn!
like
Cheers, Maxwell Glover. Thanks for subscribing. Sorry, I just saw that pop up.
basically from
Hey Maxwell, if
Sorry,
you want to come on,
touched.
if you want to come on the stream, Maxwell, you're
Oh.
welcome to. I'm just letting you know, the invite is open.
Oh, I was gonna say this. I would love to actually talk to Maxwell Glover for the actual first time. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I have not talked to him either. But the thing is that like I would like to critique the broader communist movement for a second, if that's okay.
Go ahead. It's
Oh,
an
yeah.
open discussion.
Through my experiences in the Kill the Bill stuff, the resisting fascism stuff, I have noticed the like factionalism of the left and the reluctance to be willing to actually do a proper united front. And this is with and I'm talking in the context of organizations I disagree with, but in the context of seeing fucking people ostracizing even shitty Trotskyist parties I don't care about for scandals that happened 10 years ago. They don't realize that currently the problem is what's happening to Gaza and Palestine. You know, some of the big consequences that come from that. There is a time to be factional with people, even if I do say that, like, I will call people out on the bullshit. There's times to strike out, and there's sometimes where you can't strike out in as many directions. And we need to know who our enemies and who our friends are in certain contexts. And I did just want to establish that because I've seen a massive fucking issue of shit happening. And that's just come about. So I'm hoping to, and I've seen it from the Palestinian Solidarity campaign here, which has ostracized the formation I work with because they attack the Labour Party. So I did just want to call that. So I did just want to call that bullshit out because that's liberalism, and I don't think the Palestinian Solidarity campaign is awful, but like if your ties are to the Labour Party and not to Palestine, are you really in solidarity with Palestine? If you're willing to ostracize other groups that advocate for Palestinian resistance. And I just wanted to call out that bullshit because it sickens me. and Palestine, and in terms of what's happening now, remember the war. There is no Arab-Israeli war. There is a genocide.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Is my public speaking improved? I feel like it's.
Oh yeah, it has.
Yeah. It has.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kicks in when I'm passionate about it. I guess.
It's
But
totally
yeah,
fine.
and I have issues with the Iranian government, but the Iranian government is a less evil government than I live under. It's not done as many horrible things, you know. And in
Yeah.
terms of Palestine, Iran is one of the better countries on that. So, Iran is not a socialist nation. It's not even that social democratic. But people don't realize how weak the revolutionary left currently is, and I feel that Jason, I know Dr. Novi is an M3W. I mean, I agree with Jason on the global class divide, but I'm not M3W, at least yet. You know, I'm willing to hear out things, but I do think he has a point where there aren't enough militant left-wing people in the first world, and the we do have to recognize that, like,
Yeah.
supporting Iran in the context of Palestine is the correct move, and recognizing that Iran is on the whole, better nation of foreign policy. And Iran is, I would say, it's not pro-imperialist. I think Iran is getting
It's a
imperialized.
regional
Hell, I think it's
imperialist
being
power.
imperialized by Russia. No, it kind
The
of,
other
yeah, but it's also being
yeah.
imperial. It's also being imperial. It's a semi-imperial power. It's mostly getting
Yeah, that's
imperialized
why I
by
just only said
Russia.
it was a regional one. That's why I only said it was like regional, where
Yeah, but it's.
imperialism only affects the Middle
Yeah,
East.
I mean, I guess the thing is, I guess the thing is, yeah, it kind of is semi-imperial because it's just kind of a stable country in the Arab world, which is, in the Middle East.
Which is the reason why
Like,
Israel wants it destroyed, because they see, Iran as the last thing that stands in their way of completely controlling the Middle East.
Iran, Iran will fucking, Iran will fucking nuke Israel before they allow that to
Oh my
happen.
god. Oh wait, Iran doesn't even have nukes yet.
Yeah, but
It does. Iran does have nukes.
Wait,
I'm
what?
just regarding nukes. Every country has the right to have nukes
I
as long
think,
as America exists.
like, I believe in nuclear disarmament in my heart. I don't want nukes to be floating around because nuclear annihilation is horrific. But if anybody's gonna have nukes, it's either all of us have one or none of us have one.
I agree.
Wait, can I address this comment that Maxwell Glover made? I call BS. They actually did. Yes, they're the second largest trading partner with Israel.
Third.
But also, basically, literally, I have actual articles and sources and proof about literally Sino-Israeli relations between China and literally and Israel. Basically, like,
Actually, send that to
literally.
me in the DMs.
Oh yeah, because
I mean, 'cause,
literally,
yeah, but like,
I have all this in my Maoist archive as well, where basically
yeah.
this is one of the sources from Newsweek, where basically China, and basically how Israel used weapons and technology to become an ally of China. Basically, they're like they use each other's technology. I can send the link to, and also in the private chat as well. For Dark
Well,
Genovia to
If you want to
screen.
do that, you could.
Well, regarding
I'm saying that you could probably leave it in the comments after the video.
well, here's the thing about China.
Yeah.
It's complicated. The entire situation with China. It's not black and white. It really isn't. Is China basically being a training partner with Israel problematic? Yes, but which country in the world is not a trading partner? It's almost the entire world trades
Iran.
with Israel. Yeah, Iran, obviously, but almost the entire world trades with Israel.
Yeah, the thing is that this goes back to the marketization reforms. If we're actually going back, which obviously if I disagree with, and feel was a regression, but that's a tangent. In terms of interaction with Israel, I also, there's no ethical consumption of capitalism, but do try and look out for if you're actually getting Israeli goods. Do try and look out for that, because that is a thing you can try and do. It's a very little thing. Oh.
Maxwell, if you want to be part of the stream, I'm willing to invite if you want to give your own take on this.
Yeah.
Anyway, ENGELSIST, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just saying that try it's very little, but it's the bare minimum. Try and avoid buying Israeli goods if you can. It's not much, but it is something, Also, please, any of you that know if there's Palestinian events happening around you, go to them. Palestine is bleeding. We need to support them in this time of need. There is no such thing as this being this is no such thing as this being a war or a fight. This is continued killing. It's been killing since the 1940s. And currently, we need to get our big boy pants on and go the fuck outside. Get your Palestinian flags out and go out if you can.
What Israel wants is not a war. They want a massacre.
It's been a massacre. It's still a massacre.
Yeah.
It's a continual massacre.
Hey, Dark Zenovia, off topic, but can you give me basically the YouTube wrench so I can be able to post links?
The YouTube link?
No, wrench, that YouTube wrench where basically the blue mark on my, oh damn it, where I can be able to post links in the live chat.
Make you a moderator. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, basically a mod.
Oh. How do you do that? That's a stupid. I know I should not ask you this.
Okay.
Share screen, click on my
essentially,
profile.
Essentially, yeah, you click on the name and then it says add as moderator. But I'm gonna head off in a second because it is pretty late.
All right.
By the way, send the thing that you sent in private chat to me on Discord because I don't check.
Yeah, I did that. Go check it.
Yeah, okay, chill.
All right.
So yeah, I've got my Palestine flag. I'll probably try and stick it on something if I can, and I'm gonna be doing some action. If I get some footage, I'll probably post it. But if not, I guess see you on Sunday. But it's been lovely chatting to both of you, and I hope I support Palestine in this time of need, and get out there and take action because this online sphere only means so much. In fact, it's the bare minimum.
I agree.
So it's been lovely talking to you, and fucking get out there, comrades. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, we're about to add a new guest, and this is a first time. So, without further ado,
1, 2. Yay!
Yay! I've been waiting to have you on my stream.
Oh, you can see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my
We can
first
all
time
see
trying
you.
this. I'm actually on my phone, but let's see how
Hey.
it works. Well,
I'm also doing this on my phone as well.
I don't know how well
So
it
you're
would
not
work.
the only one there.
I'm actually, doing something here right now, but because I'll tell you later. But
It's
how have y'all
alright.
been? How have y'all been?
We're doing fine. Things have been crazy in America.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Darky. I live in the same place as you
Yeah.
do. You ain't got to tell me
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, welcome to
Now, I
hell,
would think you were crazy if you saying everything is nice in America. I think you're nuts.
Well-
I'd be going, don't lie to me. Where you been? What part of America you in?
Where I live, there's a homeless camp near where I live. I'm not even exaggerating.
No, I can show you a ton of homeless camps right here in the Mile High. Back when I used to my old apartment, there was a homeless encampment right across the street.
And we're told this is the greatest country in the world, yet we can't even take care of our own people.
Yeah. Greatest country in the world for the 1%, maybe. If anybody thinks this is the greatest country in the world and it's working party, I don't know what planet they're on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I don't even know what the hell they smoking.
Oh, Dark Snow, oh no, that's your thingy on this place. And there's, I seen it's falcone.
There's just some guy that's just annoying. Ignore him.
Ooh.
That's exactly. Well, I watched a podcast last night by the Empire Files, and the conditions in North Korea are actually not nowhere near as bad as we hear in the mainstream media. Not even close.
Uh-huh.
They can actually walk outside at night without worrying about getting mugged.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yoni parked in. You know what she could do with this shit?
In the military, aren't fucking trigger happy psychopaths like we have in America.
That's right. I mean, you can't lie to me
I'll
about
be right
America.
back. Let me go get
I lived here too long.
Yeah, I mean,
what's that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I'm around a cop, I don't feel safe. I feel like, is this it? Will this guy draw a gun on me? It's like, I don't trust the police. I'm safer when they're not around.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels kind of really uptight around here at night sometimes.
I take it you live in Florida?
Florida?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Where do you live?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. I live in Orange County, California.
Yeah. South of where I used to live by about 600 miles. I used to live right there in Oaktown, USA.
I've heard of Oaktown, USA.
Yeah. San Francisco was my stomping grounds back in those days. That's good times. I had good times. I guess. Orange County, home of Offspring, right? The band?
Yeah. Well, it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's expensive as shit to live. Homelessness is rampant. Like, it's not a place I'd recommend anyone to live. And not to mention the people are very shallow.
Well, you just subscribed my city to a T, by the way.
Wow.
I think it's just, pretty much the same thing around here. Yup Central, fucking gentrification out the ass. Where's my Kim Jong Un when I need him?
Agreed.
Did
I mean,
you ever- what?
Sorry. Isn't it funny how we're not allowed to travel to North Korea?
Yeah, but we're forced to stay in this prison town. Or this prison camp. Fuck.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a prison camp around here.
Well, America is a prison house of nations.
Yeah. I wish Kim Jong Un would come there and liberate me. No such thing.
You know, the stupidest movie America's ever made was the remake of Red Dawn with North Korea invading the United States.
Yeah, that was it wasn't stupid, it was weak. It didn't have the same oomph that the original Red Dawn had. It was weak. But
The movie, I couldn't take the movie seriously. I couldn't finish it because it was so bad.
It came off like an infomercial on some parts. Oh, it was like an infomercial in that one part where the guy's narrating about training the kids and all.
Yeah, a bunch of teenagers fighting a bunch of people that have trained all their lives.
Right.
Yeah, to fight.
Well, that was the real Red. The real Red Dawn was that way, but it still packed better punch than that pussy ass remake. Shit.
They're both bad. What I've been hearing.
Yeah. But this one was nauseous. It's like, yeah. How North Korea is really going to be able to? Well, it'd be nice if they could, but no such luck. Maybe in my wettest dreams.
I don't know how anyone can take anything these defectors say seriously when every single time, their stories are exposed as bullshit.
Yeah. Did you see Yamni's latest saying that Kim Jong-un shot one of his people 90 times? I mean, it's like, come on, Yamni, you haven't even lived in North Korea since whenever your sorry ass escaped. How do you know about Kim Jong-un? It's not like he's writing your sorry ass.
I agree. Now I'm inviting another guest, just letting you know. What's up?
Yay!
What's up, Maxwell?
Hey, hi guys, how are you guys?
We're doing good.
Glover, there you are.
Hey,
I was looking at your
the
profile.
first time I met you.
It's like, yeah, really?
yeah, I think it is the first
He was in
time.
North Korea. He's a lucky guy.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Oh, see, I can't get my icon to be. I just got this. It's showing me live. I don't know how to make my icon show up.
Oh, turn off your camera.
Just click the cam
Hang on a
icon.
second. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
All right.
Now I don't have to try to keep my face centered because I'm actually kind of moving around a little bit.
Finally.
Okay. Now Maxwell Glover, I stand Kim Jong-un but can't stand Trump. Introduce yourself to my audience for those who don't watch you guys, what you guys do.
Or don't know you.
How do we go back to the chat? Or I push the comments now, they're up, but I can't get the icon. Do I hit the X?
Oh, we already see your icon. It's already showing up.
Yeah,
I can see your icon just fine.
Okay.
Everyone can.
Yeah, I just see the comments, but that's fine. What was that again you said, Darks?
Introduce for those who don't watch you or Maxwell Glover. What do you guys do?
As in work?
No.
like the channel.
Yeah, that's your channel.
My channel is kind of a hodgepodge, just of a lot of lighthearted stuff, remixes from Kim Jong-un, and just political commentary, passionate sometimes.
And my channel's pretty new. I just basically I started it because I thought that I wrote a lot of essays that had a lot to do with Marxism, Leninism, and I wanted to put them out there where other people could read them. And because the space that I was most active on was YouTube, I guess that kind of became the outlet for it.
All right. Well, since you two are first-time guests, I like to give your insight. What's going on currently with any situation, whether it's in Palestine or in the United States. Just give your own, takes on it.
Palestine. I don't know. The media is definitely siding towards Israel a lot on this issue. If you look at any of the Western sources, they're calling it a revenge for something, and they're saying that basically there's a war, when in reality, I think someone said this earlier, it's a colonization of a nation, basically, that's happening. And this is another, it was spurred initially by the Israeli troops coming into the mosque, if I'm not mistaken, on the holy day and saying, oh, you got to get out of here, because they were settling the land. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't think it'll escalate into another, like, Gaza Strip incident, but yeah, it's continued subjugation of Palestine by Israel. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I don't think Israel can get away, with the things they would like to do because of social media, because their brutality is being exposed to the entire world. I mean, there's only so much you could actually hide before, you have, even the mainstream media will at some point have to admit there's an apartheid state.
Israel has a very good propaganda device, though. They have a lot of outreach and say in what the Western sources are reporting, I think. And there's a lot of really strange pro-Israel accounts that I've seen in various places. They have this Instagram page, which is basically like posting pictures of hot Israel Defense Force women, and that's all the page is, and it's sponsored by the Israeli government. So, and then that's not the most convincing thing out there to say, oh, we don't have a genocide, but they have a very strong sway over a lot of Western opinion, I believe. So I think it's up to the other types of media, such as free content on YouTube or stuff from Iran, like Press TV, with Jason appears on, that will out.
Oh, can I
crime.
say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you hear about basically the big protests that were happening in New York, where basically New York showed up for Palestine?
I saw some pictures from it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. You have Larry. Oh, sorry.
I just saw that there was a lot more people with their Palestinian flags out there on one side of the street, and then like a couple people for Israel.
Well like I said, the truth is on our side when it comes to the Israel and Palestinian conflict. Israel may have the mainstream media behind its back, but it's not going to be able to, bury its crimes, forever. It's being exposed. I mean,
exactly.
It took decades to take down the apartheid regime in South Africa. Israel, it will happen to Israel.
Yeah. Oh, not gonna lie. South Africa still is segregated. Not gonna lie.
Very.
Yeah, I was gonna mention this. It's so funny how you have this social fascist like Andrew fucking Yang, who basically doesn't even know his own city, and he's supposed to be running for mayor of New York, and I don't even know why people are still trying to vote for that fucking social fascist who supports literally the fascist state of Israel.
Yeah. I don't, Falcone, I don't think we should use the word fascist, so loosely, because if we do it, it's not going to mean anything.
Yeah.
Me, I just call him a social fascist because that's what he is.
But I think fascism has to have a more narrow definition because, I mean, it is true that liberals will call anybody a fascist. And so there are certainly fascist tendencies, but I mean, real fascism is 1,000 times worse than many things that we could call fascism, I think. And it might
It's like the boy who cried wolf. If we use the word fascist when a real fascist is in front of us, no one will believe us. That's why I say we shouldn't use the word loosely.
I would consider, like I said, Israel and U.S. fascist to some extent, but I mean...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
An individual person who's just like a liberal nobody, I don't think is really...
Honestly, Andrew Yang, I can't believe people still take him seriously. I've always thought that guy was a joke.
He's like the meme candidate, basically.
Anyway, I think Kim Jong-un was trying to say something.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, about all this stuff going on in the Middle East, hang on a second.
It's okay.
Oh, hold on a minute. That was traffic. I have a hard time following what's going on in the Middle East, but it's turned out it seemed like, from what I've heard of the USA has been doing it to all these other countries, it just seems like it's more of their BS, just with a different country. So I don't know how much of it is, their own problems they're having, like we do, versus how much America is throwing in with one side or the other to prop them up, like what they did when they threw in behind the revolt in Libya. I'm thinking Libya happened because they all sanctioned them and caused their government to get weak. And then there was a revolt, and then they threw in behind the revolters to get Gaddafi overthrown after promising him concessions. Am I anywhere right there?
Oh, yeah, you're correct. It's just I wanted another perspective for people who are not a communist, actually.
Oh.
That's why I wanted your take on it.
Oh, okay. Like, on people who are not communists, like...
I don't know where he lies, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know either. I mean, I'm learning all kinds of new stuff. All this is new to me, and so I don't know, where they stand. But I mean, yeah. But I know that communism is more like for the workers, is what I've been learning, and the reason why. And my learning, what I've learned from that book I've been reading about Korean War, is that a lot of times the communists were blamed for stuff they didn't even do, and so I'm thinking maybe the reason why America hates communism so much is because of all the lies they've been told about communists having murdered a lot of people, when in fact, as far as Korea is concerned, it was that Sungmin Rhee punk and the American forces that were responsible for all that crap in there, not the communists. They just blamed it on communists. So that's what I'm learning. That's kind of what I'm learning a little bit about how communism has probably been made to look worse or bad, when in fact it's probably no real different than how somebody might look at capitalism from the communist point of view.
That's actually true. I mean, if you look at, there's a book that's been discredited called The Black Book of Communism, which makes communism out to be worse than fascism by adding deaths that had nothing to do with communism in order to have the 100 million, number.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of sources cite that as their big number for how many the communists have killed. Like, they always will use the Black Book of Communism when, if you go and take a look at it, and many people have and debunked it, it's when you look at that compared to the real birth rates in the countries and how bad things actually were, it's totally exaggerated. And I mean, that's not to say communists haven't killed people. Like, of course they have, but it's the hypocrisy.
Most right-wing historians don't even take the Black Book of Communism seriously
anymore. Really?
Not really.
I've seen it cited a few times, but I might be reading old shit then.
From what I'm reading in my book of Korea about communism being, I forgot my last train of thought. Give me a second. Well, yes, they were blamed for crap they didn't do, and also that, I don't know. No, whatever. I'm hearing other people say how communism has had its bad times, but also that, what I'm learning, that people sabotaging it doesn't help it.
Exactly.
That's what I've kind of learned. I actually learned more of that probably from videos here, but I'm just saying from the book that I read about the Korean War, is like, yeah, there was a lot of making it out to be worse than it was, when in fact it was Americans who did it, or Americans and being thrown in with the South Korean regime. And then the government covered it up all the way until 1999. So that gave them a 50-year head start to indoctrinate everybody about how bad communism is, when in fact it was really that Sungmin Rhee South Koreans with their stupid Korean National Police, which is just basically a government-sanctioned street gang, and then you had Sung Min Rhee and his punk ass, and Americans just sitting there with a finger up their ass, just watching all the entertainment, I guess. And they took pictures, but then the government covered all this shit up until 1999. So
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that how recently South Korea was a fascist dictatorship, basically. Same with Taiwan, how recently it was a not only one party but military dictatorship state. And then they'll blame China, Soviet Union, when we've been backing dictators in the West since the very beginning, basically.
Yeah, all the while you're calling Kim Jong-un a dictator? Come on.
Yeah.
Get a fucking mirror, America. You need a big fat mirror over your goddamn country, motherfucker. Call them America, call them a money car.
Yeah.
It's like America needs a big fat mirror.
Can I say something? America is a fascist settler colonial state that has no legitimacy to fucking exist.
Absolutely.
It's my fucking people's land. So white people should get the fuck out of here, because literally I'm tired of this bullshit of this repackaged Americanism, or this fucking bullshit Americanism.
I was gonna say when I see people saying "New America" or I'm gonna get shit for this probably, but Maupin's socialism with American characteristics, I just because
oh my god, can
America
I say something?
Yeah, go.
Their praxis is built on harassing me 24/7.
An indigenous
I hear
person.
I had a hit with Falcone with that American socialism with American characters video I made.
Yeah, I saw it. I was laughing my ass off, and I couldn't even comment how funny it was. But back to what Maxwell was saying about the Maupinites, or the
I
Maupin
couldn't even
colonists.
say socialism with American characters without busting up myself.
Yeah.
Socialism with American characteristics is an oxymoron.
Yeah, that's that too. I kind of said it something a little bit more colorful.
But Maxwell Glover, just continue what you were saying.
But yeah, you can't. I don't think you can change America's nature. You have to revolutionize. You have to break the system and build a new one. You can't build off of basically the oppression of almost 300 years. And that's why, I don't know. And Jason made a video. It was a while back. It says socialism is inherently anti-American. And I completely agree with that. Because when you stand for America, you stand for world capitalism and imperialism, no matter what face you hide it behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the thing about America is you can't separate capitalism from America.
Exactly.
The other thing is, as well as the other thing is oh my god, people even call decolonization idealistic or some bull fucking shit like that. Really? Tell that to me, an indigenous person who has never seen freedom in their entire fucking life, and we're supposed to be the land that's supposed to be about freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, when the settler colonial state never stood for that. But let's just keep all of America, but just with a red flag about it. Just put a red flag on it. You guys, that's some base That's some base socialism, because socialism is inherently American. And then you got these people in basically, then you got these people in the fucking CPUSA or saying CPUSA 2036. It's fucking bullshit. You're promoting a literal fucking Brezhnevite Khrushchevite party.
Yeah, but good luck getting even bother getting elected. That's not even.
As well as the CPUSA is the Fed party. The CPUSA is the Fed party. And literally, it got destroyed in the 1940s and became a revisionist party. And now it's a Fed party.
I'm not changing the subject, but I have a question. Has anyone heard of the CPUSA? I'm being real. Before they became a communist, or before they studied anything that's contrary to what we're fed in America? Has anyone heard of the CPUSA?
I heard of the
I only heard about
on Washington. I don't know what Communist Party did that. But that was in the 30s.
I think I stand Kim Jong-un was trying to say something.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, actually, it didn't. But I was thinking as you guys were saying that was that at some time before the Confederates, after the Civil War, I believe, there was something going on where I think it might have been the communists doing it. Something about, and I think Jason said this, that the communists were getting people to come together with under the banner of black and white, unite and fight, and they were actually having some headway. Of course, naturally, there was, and I'm thinking that might have been around the time they said America had some governments that were uniting the people, and people were being treated a lot better. And then I believe it was the Confederates was able to defeat all this, and then just basically erased any evidence of such governments ever existing. I don't know if I'm getting two different things mixed up, but I do remember, I think it was Jason saying that there was somebody that the communists had tried to unite the black and white people, and were being pretty successful about it.
There, to my knowledge, there was a, not really strong, obviously, because it never was successful, but a relatively supported workers' communist movement in the United States up until the 1930s. After that, the Black Panthers in the 60s, of course, but after that, there is basically nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. The other thing I also hate is when I got into some bullshit with infrared cultists, because infrared fans are in a fucking cult, and y'all need to know that. Like, literally, this is so funny. When I also said this, when somebody said this in my comment section, that the CPUSA has so much historical relevance and history and shit like that, and I'm like, okay. Does anybody fucking remember the CPUSA? Because the only communists that we all remember are the fucking Black Panthers, and people still talk about them to this day. When has everybody talked about the CPUSA?
Okay,
Only
to be fair, Eugene V. Debs, I knew who he was before I became a communist.
Me too.
And I learned about him when I found out of a dissenting voice that was arrested speaking out against World War I. But one thing I'd like to address, though, I don't think Caleb Maupin himself is a malicious person. I think he generally wants a better country for America.
I think, yeah, I don't think he has malintent at all. I just think his ideology is bunk and it won't get him anywhere. But I think he's a decent guy.
His ideology is dog shit.
Except for the thing about interviewing Dugan or appearing with him in something. I don't know too much about it, but I still find that kind of reprehensible.
It was basically a part of his job at RT, where there's a interview the Eurasian party.
Okay, I think Caleb Maupin, I think he means well. His heart, I feel like, is in the right place. It's just his ideology is bullshit.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The other thing I was also... Oh, sorry.
So for all you Maupinites who are watching this, I think Caleb Maupin has done some good work and deserves credit for that work. I just don't agree with his ideology. That's all.
And I don't endorse shitting on Maupin like a lot of people do.
I mean,
criticizing him, yes, but
speaking of that, this fucking stupid shit with this split between Jason and Caleb is such ridiculous, childish nonsense. I mean, who the hell do we serve encouraging such a thing? Who the fuck do we actually help? We help the fucking fascists that want to destroy us.
It's not based upon reality either. Like, Caleb and Jason don't actually hate each other. It's the fans who have stirred this bullshit up between themselves.
Yeah, it's the fans that are split with each other, and also I'm already getting some flack for this already. Which is totally fine. I always get this flack for this shit, because I'm kind of heavily critical. I'm revisionist. But there's no split between Caleb or Jason, because that's complete bullshit. It's just the fans.
I agree. There's never been a split, and anybody that endorses such a split, is doing nothing but doing the fascists' handiwork.
It's an opportunist move. Yeah.
Yeah, and I question if some of those people that do endorse such a thing, if they're not wreckers.
But like the other thing I was gonna say is just like literally
Oh, you
also like literally oh wait, I was gonna say this. Even if it's the wrong move, we should support the MLs trying to join the CPUSA in order to change it. That just kind of sounds like we like let's get all these quote unquote social democrats and leftists or AOC types into the Democratic Party and push them left and shit like that. Not gonna lie, that's what it sounds like to me. A lot. Like I remember kind of like I have to see like comments like that, but not like about CPUSA as well as like other things like for example, like the People's Party USA. Shit. Not gonna lie.
Well, if there's people that want to join the party to change it from within, I would support such a change because we need a powerful communist party in the United States. I just think we're better off creating a new party from scratch, or doing it through the PC USA. Honestly, I just don't think the CPUSA can be saved.
No offense, but the PCUSA is also dead now. There was a whole mass exodus where even Denki, Connor Gillis, and other bigger YouTubers who were in there left the whole PCUSA.
Why was that?
Oh, they were trying to basically take control of their channels and try to incorporate it into the party. Where even Angelo, the leader of the PCUSA, was trying to get them to all denounce Jason Unruh and shit like that. Where
Stupid.
he's also trying to build a cult of personality around him.
Mm.
Like, there's also a new party if you guys want to go check out if you're an ML. Go check out the People's like Revolutionary Party that's by Denki King and others as well. Go check them out. Or if you're a young person, please contact me and I can basically get you in my organization called MRNU.
How's that going now? Do you have many
Oh,
like people?
yeah, I actually got some members now.
Nice.
But some of it's kind of international.
Well, that's still
Like
good as long as I
actually-
have. Are you going to be producing content on the basis of that now? Like MRN
I
youth content?
actually have a channel. I'm basically making the channel for it. I'm using my old channel. I think
Okay.
you're subscribed to it,
I
Maxwell.
think so, probably. It's the one with
Yeah.
Gonzalo is the icon, right?
No, that was the icon. I changed it to the Jason Unruh skull with
Okay.
the Mohawk icon.
I've definitely seen it then, either way, but cool.
But not gonna lie, Gonzalo is based. Free Gonzalo. He's a political prisoner. Free all political prisoners in this that are under the fascist states.
How long has he been in jail now?
Oh, for years, like decades.
He's got to be really old, though, hey?
Yeah, he's like 86
Yeah.
years old. Oh, somebody
That's
asked
fucked.
me about. Somebody said something about MRN Youth in the chat. MRN Youth is in the USA. Canadian interference in U.S. elections. LOL.
Well, MRR youth is necessary because it's the young that's going are the future of this movement. And I'm in my 30s, and by the time you're my age, Falcone, I'll be like in my early 40s by then. And we need young people to carry over this movement. It's the young that's going to change the world, not the old.
Yeah, as well as I was gonna say this, I also actually put a whole clip in my video where I made like a whole clip from the Jason Unruh stream thing, basically showing Jason's answer to why we need MRN Youth. Which y'all can go watch. Basically, Jason explains why we need it.
Dude, give me that mask.
Is
As well
something going on? I stand Kim Jong Un.
Oh, I'm actually gonna have to step off because I'm getting ready to have to catch a bus. So
All
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna let you know. So I'll just go ahead and turn this off, and I'll try to watch the stream while I'm on the bus.
All right. Well,
Cheers, man. It was cool talking to you.
it was good talking to
Yeah.
you. I hope to have you on again.
Yeah,
You're a
thanks.
legend,
Yeah,
by the way.
this sounds like fun. Yeah, it's my first time, but yeah, I'll try to do some more, or maybe in the future. Thanks.
You're welcome. It was nice having you on.
Red Solar We'll see you
subscribe
guys.
to,
We'll see you.
subscribe to this guy. He does great content.
Who
People
is it?
subscribe to him.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
got Falcon on my subscription already. So I wouldn't miss his stream because I kept missing him.
Oh, hey
Oh.
Connor Gill. Do you want to come
Hey.
on?
Yeah, if you want to
Just
come on, I'll invite you.
Yeah.
I think the
Wait.
stream has been successful so far. Actually, if I have to be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
this stream is has basic. I think this is the best stream I've done so far.
Yeah,
had some good
I was
ones.
gonna say this. I was gonna say this as well. Like, I was gonna debunk some bullshit about like the Bundes movement, but then we went like a little bit onto a different track.
Well,
Where,
that's what happens when you have multiple people with multiple voices.
Yeah, I
Con-
know. It's totally fine.
All right.
Oh, yay! 1, 2, 3. Let's see.
I just did it on StreamYard because it's too much of a hassle for me to do it on Discord because I'm on my computer, not my phone.
Oh, it's totally fine. Sorry,
It's
I'm
like-
a bit tired. Oh, I was gonna say this. I'm also making a new series on my channel. Is Not Your Friend. My first episode is Why the Black Hammer Organization is Not Your Fucking Friend, which y'all
I
should
saw
go
that.
check out.
So tell
I
me
gotta
more
watch
about,
that.
Tell me more about the Black Hammer organization.
Oh shit, they do some literal fucking pig COINTELPRO shit.
So I
Their
never
whole,
heard about it until you said it.
Their whole basically like trail of white tears is basically all planned with their hashtag #TBFriend, where they call, like Kevin Rashid Johnson did a whole fucking article about it, and he also debunked one of the claims of Ghazi Koto, saying that literally the leadership of the new African Black Panther Party did some shit like misappropriate funds that were for children and school buses or some shit like that. And the other thing is this: they call Anne Frank some colonizer Jew. What the fuck is she colonizing? The fucking gas chambers of fucking Auschwitz? Yeah, that's what she's fucking colonizing.
She's colonizing the attic.
Yeah, my ass cheek, she's colonizing. Yeah, she's
that's
gonna be
pretty
colonizing the gas chamber. It's pretty fucked up.
Jesus.
Anyone that pushes that, that's just anti-Semitic bullshit.
Oh my god, this is so funny. Specky V made a funny ass comment. Black Hammer is what he said. Black Hammer is what infrared wishes it was.
Oh fuck! Jesus.
Oh my god. Oh damn. Specky V cracks me up. No wonder why I made him a mod. Oh my god. So basically, the other thing with Black Hammer as well is this: they call Karl Marx, Karl Marx, who's a quote unquote colonizer and shit like that. And literally, Ghazi Koto is literally a fascist. Like, literally, the Black Hammer organization is a fascist organization. Those fucking pigs, I'm gonna call them pigs because they do fucking pig shit. And also, I would not be surprised if they're feds. Oh wait, they are fucking feds. The other thing is with Black Hammer organization, they're literally just a weird ass fucking cult scamming you for your money to build this quote unquote Hammer City and all this other bull fucking shit.
That sounds like
Guys,
something
we're gonna
from a
build our
movie.
Hammer City. Like, we're gonna build some Hammer City, guys. Guys, we're gonna build some Hammer City, am I right? We liberated 200 acres of land to build our Hammer City, which we're gonna scam you for. And then you have people like Xander Hall or even Fox fucking News saying that they're a communist group and shit like that wants to build some black ethno state or some fucking bullshit.
What happened to work amongst the people? Like,
I don't
that doesn't
know.
make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes like no sense when people say like this other thing, a people's democratic dictatorship. Yeah, that also makes no fucking sense at all. Guys, we're gonna be a people's democratic dictatorship, which what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And the other thing as well is like literally did I mention this Dark Zenovia that we talked about in the group chat or no?
It would probably not be a good idea.
Because kind of like what happened with the whole Ghazi and shit like that kind of started the whole thing. But I'll just say basically
whatever that drama is, I don't want anything to do with it.
Okay. So yeah, like basically Ghazi is a cult leader. Oh, I also forgot to say this. Also, Ghazi is a wrecker who basically destroyed the New African Socialist Party. And you know the other thing? I'm also pissed off at the people who even platformed Ghazi's fucking fascist pig ass. I'm also mad at Anti-Conquista for even platforming that fucker. Not gonna lie.
Okay. I don't want any drama with other content creators, Falcone. So let's cut that rhetoric down.
Yeah.
But
like,
anyway.
Yeah.
I think one thing I want to get back what the stream was originally about.
What was it about?
It was about Palestine.
Okay.
I got to show a little clip that I think people need to know regarding a certain person that he may be half dead for all we know, but when he wasn't half dead, he said something like this.
There's no apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
So, yeah, fascist Joe Biden, is basically what back then was being brutally honest. Israel exists, for America's interests.
Most honest I've ever seen him. Yeah.
Then again, that was long before he was half dead and probably controlled by a remote control.
Yeah, it's like the Emperor in
or as well as like
movie.
Kamala Harris might be the president. We have President Kamala Harris, guys. All hail our new president.
Have you guys noticed how Joe Biden, when he was talking about the Palestinian, that he could barely speak?
I don't fucking watch videos of Joe Biden, but I'm not surprised.
He could barely speak.
God. Oh my god, remember Baba Vakian endorsing Joe Biden and shit like that?
Oh god.
Oh my god. Comrade Biden, guys. We're gonna have our Comrade Joseph Biden. Also, I love these memes where people... Yeah?
Maybe Vosh is the illegitimate son of Joe Biden.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh my god, I remember Specky V always makes this joke. Specky V always makes this joke. The best founder of anarchism ever is Ian Klokshensky or some shit like that, which is Vosh's actual name. Oh my god, it was so funny. And then basically Obnoxious Anarchist didn't know like who that was, and so he looked it up and he's like, oh, it's Vosh. Oh, can I announce something as well? Basically on RTD Media, this Saturday, I'm going to be interviewing Obnoxious Anarchists, so see y'all there as well.
Nice. I love his content.
Obnoxious Anarchists, solidarity to comrade, if you're watching this.
My favorite anarchist on YouTube.
Yeah, he's the best anarchist.
The only anarchist we ever watch.
Exactly. Yeah.
I watch non-compete once in a while, but I prefer the Obnoxious Anarchists.
Oh, sorry.
Connor Gillis is coming on.
Hello.
Oh, finally.
Hello.
Comrade.
Hello, comrades.
All right. Would you like to introduce yourself to my audience? Because for those who never heard of you.
Oh, sure. My my name is Connor Gillis. I am a content creator on YouTube and a communist, a Marxist-Leninist. I know many people here would probably disagree with a lot of my takes, but I stand in
know.
solidarity. I stand in solidarity with all these comrades here and the amazing content they make, and especially, seeing the youth growing up and learning about communism, and just seeing more and more people, become interested in taking anti-imperialist stances and this sort of thing. And it's amazing to see. And
So-
you can catch my content, just type in my name and you can find me.
Yeah.
So what's your take of what's going on right now in Israel and Palestine?
Well, I'm a firm anti-Zionist. I believe that, this is aggression, a typical, but just enhanced aggression from the Israeli settler apartheid state against the Palestinian people.
Mhm.
And they have every right, whether we agree with the politics of Hamas or whomever is fighting back.
Exactly.
They have every right. They have every right to defend themselves. These people are protecting themselves not just for their freedom, but from extinction. And they have every right to use every force that they have to fight back against this. And I think it's our duty as communists and internationalists to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people. I really do.
As the late Malcolm X once said, defense by any means necessary.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I wanted to say something. I don't know if you guys agree, but has the PLO gone lib after Yasser Arafat and kind of capitulated a bit with the whole two-state thing, and now Hamas is the main resistance force? Would you guys agree with that?
Well, I would say the largest group within the PLO, Fatah, yes, I would say that's true. But when it comes to the People's Liberation Front of Palestine and the Maoist People's Democratic Liberation Front, Palestine, I would say that they have not capitulated, but they're just in a strategic alliance with Fatah.
And smaller organizations too.
Yes, yes.
Also, just so you guys know, again, I'm not trying to misgender you when I say guys or anybody. That's just how I address everyone. So, no offense intended.
None taken from me. I can't speak for Falcone, no.
I think he's away from the, or she, fuck, she's away from the mic right now. Apparently it's muted, but yeah, I don't know. I think PLO after Yasser Arafat has capitulated more and more. And again, like you said, I don't think you have to agree with the politics of Hamas, but to defend themselves is rightful, and it's in the interest of the people against Israel. I agree.
Sorry, what did I miss?
Well,
because I want to go do something.
About the PLO and the biggest organization with it, Fatah, and Comrade Maxwell said after Arafat that Fatah, and at large, since Fatah controls the PLO, has become more of a capitulating force instead of a revolutionary force of defense. The only people who are out there 100% fighting back are the two smaller organizations, the Marxist-Leninists and Maoists within the PLO, and also Hamas, the biggest group in the country.
And Hezbollah as well, I guess. But
yeah.
Oh, well, it's not really in the country. It's actually just based in southern Lebanon. Oh, you know about this as well. Like, for example, there was this battle, and fun fact about this battle, it happened in 2006, and 7 years, literally, oh wait, not 7 years, 7 days before my my birthday, where basically the fascist state of Israel tried to go and invade the small town of Lebanon, and literally they had to fight a force of literally 200 or 200. Oh wait, 150 Hezbollah fighters, and you know what happened? Literally, Hezbollah just kicked their fucking asses.
Yeah, it was like a full combined armed attack with support from bombarding from the ocean, from airplanes. They had artillery, tanks, everything, and you had 200 irregular fighters hunkered down in a defensive position, and they drove them back. It's a historical victory.
Like Israel
Yeah,
has
it's kind of
regional
funny.
defense, but they have no ability to attack, except for the nukes, which you guys were talking about earlier. But otherwise, militarily, like we saw versus Egypt and Syria, they have no. They always get pushed back to the very limit when they try to invade.
Reactionaries are paper tigers, as Comrade Mao Zedong said.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, though, Hamas would not even be a thing in the first place if Israel did not exist. That's the thing that all these people that criticize, Hamas and those who support Hamas, why would the Palestinians support Hamas? I don't know, because Hamas is actually doing something for them, while everybody else is just either selling them out or actually killing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I also kind of get annoyed with, like, people when they like I met a member from the Communist Party of Israel, which, yeah,
Weird.
if y'all don't know what I think, they're revisionist. But they're saying, oh, they're threatening Palestinian unity and shit like that, or some shit like that. Or say some rumor that's like
That's
with
just
the
like-
fascist party of Israel.
That's just like socialism with American characteristics. Socialism built upon
Yeah.
an already settler imperialist state. Yeah, I agree.
Or
on.
basically like some shit like, oh, we need like Jewish and Palestinian unity. Well, basically we have that with like not in fucking Israel, because they're literally, the Zionists are literal fucking fascists, not Jewish. Like,
Well,
Zionists are not Jews.
As a Reform Jew, I would like to say that Zionism, at least from what I have gathered, is really against all teachings of God and the Jewish law. Not only that, but if you look at history, when Jewish people did not have a home of their own, when we thrived the most, it was under Muslim rule. The Spanish Golden Age and the Sephardic Jewry was born underneath the Muslim Spaniards of Al-Andalus. The entire Talmud was written in the Safavid Empire when it had just started turning Muslim. And, these are the places, and Muhammad gave Jews equal rights to Muslims in Medina, like in their founding documents. And so it's these sort of things that and Christians from the very beginning didn't really like us. So it's
put in ghettos and boxed up within the cities. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of indicative that Israel also every day kills Jews in Yemen, the Yemeni Jews. They kill Syrian Jews. They kill Palestinian Jews. They kill Ethiopian Jews. They kill Jews of color it's nothing.
Arab Jews.
Sorry, go ahead. There's this video I saw, and it was a bunch of like Hasidic Orthodox Jews, and most of them living in Israel are actually against the state of Israel and its colonial act. But anyways, they were protesting, and they were just kneeling like in a line, and this like IDF guy comes up and like sprays them all with a can of pepper spray in the face just while they're sitting there. Like,
the Hasidics, they only live in Israel because they just want to worship in their spiritual homeland. They have no interest in replacing anyone. Most of them are strictly not anti-Zionists, but strictly non-Zionists, which means that they don't combat Zionism, but at the same time they do not support it in any way.
They don't vote apparently, and they don't.
They don't participate in the IDF. Yeah. They refuse military service, and Hasidim is very based in. It has its roots in the peasantry, the Jewish peasantry, and folk Jewishness. It was like a manifestation of Judaism, separate from like the old the old Sanhedrin and the Lithuanian common. Anyway, they were like sort of rebels who said we can talk to God in our own way. We can have fun and with God. But anyway, these people reject Zionism on a theological level, and they refuse military service, and they get punished greatly and imprisoned and killed by the Israeli state as well. They don't care about Jews. So
Oh,
let's make that.
oh,
I
I was
don't know
gonna
if this is
ask.
accurate, but I just see Zionism as another offshoot of Americanism, just like Nazism before it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's settler colonialism. I know that's the sort of dialogue y'all would use, and that's absolutely would be a correct way to put it. It's literally a colony created by the British and French empires, when they carved up the Middle East. It's a colony so they could have an imperial military base in the Middle East where the oil reserves are all supporting it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's pure
I was
imperialism.
not.
I think I said in one of my videos that unfortunately, there's a lot of people on the left as well who take the anti-Semitic position and say, oh, Israel controls the U.S., when no, the U.S. controls Israel. It is their puppet. It is their foothold in the Middle East against those who oppose them. It is not Israel controlling the banks or controlling stuff like that. It is the U.S. who is the orchestrator. You know what I mean?
Well, from my opinion,
I was
I
gonna
think
say something.
it just comes from the fact that I don't think these people want to accept deep down that America is completely in the wrong and America has complete responsibility. And to me, it just seems like it's just running away from the responsibility of what their country has been doing around the world.
Yeah,
That's what it comes down to me.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Basically, hey Connor, I wanted to ask you this. Did you do? Oh yeah, I think you met a. Are you familiar with the Bundist movement or no?
Yes, I'm familiar with the Bundist movement, especially after seeing Jason's documentary. This documentary won't be monetized, and I really, that's when I first heard of it.
Also, I forgot to tell you this. I actually think you actually met a member of the Bundist movement. I think you might know him, Comrade Net, or have you ever heard of him or no? Yeah.
I do. Know.
Yeah.
I
I'll
saw.
get you in contact with Net.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah. Do you remember what we were talking about in like DMs about like maybe you should like join the Bundist movement or something like that?
Yeah, that's definitely at least if not join it, at least work closely with them. I would like to learn. I would like to learn from them. I think that Bundism in the 21st century has a lot to offer, and I think that it's worth. I just can't speak as an authority on it because I haven't done enough research yet, but I'm very interested.
Dr. Weisfeld's channel is also worth checking out. He has a lot of great.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Weisfeld,
the chairman of the Bundist movement. I remember the ENGELSIST on KRTV Media is going to be talking to Steve Struggle, Black Panther, and Chairman Weisfeld.
That's big. That's big.
That's
it's going to happen on Sunday.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. As well as the other thing, did you hear what we were talking about where we were like kind of talking about like some of the parties, like where we talked about like PCUSA and stuff like that?
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part, but I'd love to talk.
Can you tell us about your experience in PCUSA?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, no doubt. I'm pretty open about it now. I wasn't at first, but just seeing their continued stubbornness and their wrong position has sort of led me to have to, you have to be critical. When like Mao says, when someone is clearly in the wrong, and is taking the unprincipled stance, you have to say something. I would say that the party oh gosh, it's It's a micro party. It's a micro party, but I think the biggest problem with it is that it's dominated by people who feel who are running the party like it's the 1970s CPUSA, and it's not the 1970s CPUSA. It's the the 21st century little PCUSA. And not only that, I think like Danke Kang went over a lot of this. There's this commandist tendency within the party. A lot of centralism, no democracy. For example, whenever they first came to me and said, you have to collectivize your YouTube channel and all this, and I was like, it's already been decided by the Politburo, you have to do it. And I was like, wait a second. Everyone, like Danke and all them, yeah, they all have to do it. They all have to do it. Well, did you even consult any of us? This is the first time I'm hearing of it. The Politburo already voted on it. What happened to internal debate? Like, if I lost in an internal debate and an internal vote, then maybe that would be something I consider. Another thing is the party is just incredibly inefficient. It can't do anything. It's not good at doing things. If you want to say you wanted to set up a table for the party as somewhere in your locality, you would have to get it approved by your local district organizer. They would have to ask the Politburo, and the Politburo would have to vote on it, and blah 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 blah. And by the time it got back down to you, like, the opportunity had already passed. The same with like campaigns, like in the LGBT commission, which I was in. We would always have these amazing campaigns and be ready to do them and everything, and then they would just be stuck waiting for a Politburo vote that never came, and then the opportunity would pass. And I think the biggest issue with the PCUSA is that, well, they tried to cover up a lot of nasty shit, and once I found out about that, that was sort of the straw that broke the camel's back, and why my silence about it was broken. It's just. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh. I was wondering who this. They were trying to incorporated like Danke's like podcast into his channel and tried to like restrict what you could do. Didn't they also try to do that with your channel?
Yeah, they tried to do that with my channel as well. Anytime I would ever mention Mao in any sort of positive light, that was an immediately like, you can't do that, blah blah blah. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, this is one of the great revolutionaries of history, and you're just going to ignore him like he didn't exist? Like, yeah.
Or like, as well, he's like the fifth head of Marxism as well. Like,
I would say so.
What?
I would consider Mao the fifth head. With his contribution to dialectics, especially not only to the revolutionary tactics, but also to dialectics with his on-contradiction and on-practice. Like, that's essential Marxism. Like, no one can talk about modern dialectical materialism without getting into Mao's on-contradiction and on-practice. You can't even begin to understand, like, where the famous quote, where do correct ideas come from? Like, he really lays it out in such an essential way, and it's a true advancement in the method of applying Marxism for analysis. And so to ignore that is so freaking stupid. And the social practice of China during his lifetime is so important for us to study and understand, where the correct ideas come from. They come from social practice and from it alone. So we have to study this stuff. Otherwise, we're just going over 1920s Soviet internal politics every single day for the rest of our lives and not getting anything done.
So why are they so critical of Mao exactly?
Well, it has to do with the Sino-Soviet split. They have this idea that this dogmatism that the USSR did no wrong until Gorbachev.
What is it, 1964? Like,
yeah, 63 or 64. Yeah. It's something that.
But like stuck in the past, I mean.
About that time is when that happened, when Khrushchev came out and gave the secret speech, and then a few years later there was the Sino-Soviet split. That cut the world communist movement by 50% in total. That devastated the world communist movement. and it also divided us. And I've made 2 videos blaming it on revisionism and ultra leftism, but I was trying to come to sort of a synthesis with that idea. But in the end, the Sino-Soviet split at that time, in my opinion, China was correct on that split. I think that they had come out on the correct side. It wasn't until the Gang of Four that their geopolitics goes against sort of what I think about the Soviets. But y'all may think differently, but that's just sort of my perspective.
I was going to say this. I heard some, I want to know if you ever heard about this. There was some stuff that I heard about, the Gang of Four trying to, that want to, rebuild relations with the USSR or something like that.
I'm not really sure, because during the Gang of Four era, that's whenever the idea of social imperialism and three worlds theories.
Three worlds theory, yeah.
Three worlds theory. And so it could have been towards the end of that time, maybe that they tried to, in order to stop the wing of the party led by Zhou Enlai and Deng Xiaoping from taking power, they may very much have gone to repair relations with the Soviets. Also, given that it was long removed from the Khrushchev era, and Brezhnev had sort of revitalized the Soviets. I know a lot of people consider him a revisionist, but compared to Khrushchev, he was
he was a hardliner compared to Khrushchev. Absolutely, yeah.
Basically, I also hate Brezhnev. Not gonna lie.
I know.
Yeah, because here's the other thing. He still kept with the de-Stalinization policy, but just literally said he was then said something a little bit nicer about Stalin, he was some war hero or some shit like that. As with Khrushchev, he just goes Stalin bad, everything.
Gorbachev is the worst of them all.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
He had his only intention was to liquidate the Soviet Union and balkanize it, and we all know what the results of the end of the Soviet Union happened. It may be revisionist in many people's eyes, and I certainly even call it revisionist during Gorbachev's era, especially. And I think that we see the results. Revisionist socialism is better than any sort of balkanization and imperialist destruction and neoliberal shock doctrine of a country.
The only balkanization I support.
If it weren't for Gorbachev, the state of the world that exists now would not even exist if it weren't for Gorbachev.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Honestly,
I was gonna say this here.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say this. The only balkanization I support is the balkanization of the United States and Canada. Yeah, I need my fucking land back.
Well, I stand in solidarity with our indigenous and colonized people. I believe that they will, as the most advanced strata of the working class, welcome
God is on the side of justice.
Absolutely.
Also, my recommendation: do not endorse or do not subscribe to Socialism with American Characteristics. That's my recommendation.
I would say
I don't like that term at all. I believe that if there is ever such thing as socialism with American characteristics, it's going to come from the characteristics of the most oppressed strata of our society. It will be a new culture, not built on an old one. It'll be a new culture,
proletarian culture.
Proletarian culture, yeah, and that will incorporate all the colonized peoples and everything. I mean, it should truly be. If anything American comes out of it, I mean, we have a lot of American heroes to be proud of. If we go back, the Native Americans who fought against the colonialists, Sitting Bull, and people like that, and then Geronimo, and then you go on to people like Harriet Tubman, Paul Robeson, Harry Haywood, W.E.
or John Brown.
John Brown. We have tons of American heroes to be proud of. We just need, if we are going to build a new culture here, it has to be like Falcone Falcone said, from the proletarian people, from the most oppressed strata of society.
One thing I don't understand, though, one of the biggest strawmans I hear is how we glorify destruction and don't talk about building. But isn't destruction and creation, the same side of the same coin?
Well, we have to look at these things dialectically, right? Yeah, absolutely. This when we have destruction, we have to also deal with construction. But these things go hand in hand. When you're tearing down an old society, you have to destroy, but you also have to build anew. I think that the message is that after that, we have to push to these peoples that yes, after we get rid of this terrible system, we're going to build something new and better.
I was also gonna mention this, like, when I think I was like learning about this, like, what was it? Shit, I almost forgot. Basically, the other thing as well is like people assume like we glorify violence or do poverty worship, and I'm like,
no,
bruh.
Which I don't
Like
think
we
any.
don't worship violence.
It's
I don't
the
think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think any Maoist or third worldist or anarchist glorifies poverty. None of us want to live in poverty. That's a ridiculous straw man.
I was gonna say it's anti-poverty. We want people to be richer. We don't want people to be poorer.
I
pro-wealth.
think being a communist or a Maoist or a third worldist, Marxist, Leninist, whatever it may be, someone who wants to build a better world. This is someone who's. You have to have deep love for the people in your heart. You don't wish violence to come upon your fellow working people, but we do understand that there is a necessary evil that we will have to carry out. Hopefully it's as little violence as possible, but no one's promising anything. But we're dealing with love and violence. It's a very harsh thing. It is.
I agree.
Yeah. Like, violence is going to happen no matter what because the state's going to mandate violence against you. Like, for example, like, I already know how to defend myself already.
Good.
That's a good thing. Like, I know that. I know that.
Communists to legally obtain a firearm for self-defense purposes. Train if you have the ability, of course. I know some people, aren't in a place where they can do that, or they're not old enough, or maybe they're they're not there in the headspace. But any sort of self-defense, whether it's physical or a lock and a sock, anything, anything can protect you. Just we got to be ready because there's a lot of people who don't like us.
Oh, I was gonna mention this. The other thing is like, I'm in like a red state like West Virginia. We have barely any gun control. The good thing is we're not gonna follow any federal gun control. Take that advantage if anybody's watching from West Virginia.
Unfortunately, thanks to that fascist Ronald Reagan in California, you can't. Gun control laws are freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. Texas just lightened them up down here. We actually don't need any sort of. We used to have to get a concealed carry to even carry a pistol on our hip, even open carry. Now we don't need that anymore. We can just open carry a pistol as long as you're above the age of 21, which is great.
I live in Canada. It's like you can't get shit up here, man.
Well, I hate to. One thing we should discuss this live, but I feel like every time the right is pushing against gun control, I say let's just take advantage of it because gun control affects all of us. Because if the proletariat's disarmed, we can't do shit, and we'll be just like the victims in Palestine. We don't want to be that.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
Get 3D printers. You can literally 3D print guns now.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. I think they're gonna. The government is gonna find a way to regulate that. There's no way they won't.
Yeah.
The other thing I have a good idea. Let's give the state a monopoly on firearms. That's a great idea. I trust them. They're very trustworthy.
Yeah, I trust the pigs not to shoot me.
Like, gun control is basically fascism, in my opinion. Like, it's right wing. Me and Jason Unruh talked about it on our stream together. It's kind of funny how like people are trying to make it like some left wing position.
I wanted to talk to some
Like-
people about this because I'm kind of conflicted. On one side, I think the workers always need guns and to arm themselves no matter what the cost. And yet on the other side, I do not think the United States is at all a revolutionary place. But I don't support gun control, but I also don't support the gun culture of America, if that makes sense.
Well, gun
Yeah.
culture is basically all connected to white supremacy. It all like, you know, if you just follow the history, it all started long before the country was founded. I mean, with slavery as an example.
A good thing is they have the Socialist Rifle Organization as opposed to the National Rifle Association. So socialists who are armed can join together.
Don't worry, I'll arm like the young people in my group.
Just
Which
dishing
I'll
out the
probably do a
AKs.
lesson. I should do a lesson teaching the members of my org now how to shoot, hold the gun, gun safety, done.
Well, one
But
thing we
some of them
gotta
are
do, we shouldn't talk about any plans we have on a live stream because the government is spying on us. So
Oh wait, I'll be right back. My mom's calling me.
I'm a nice and legal gun owner. Don't worry. I only use mine for target shooting and self-defense. That's actually true.
I know that's a joke. I know that's a joke, Connor Gillis, but I'm just saying that Black Redguard is correct when he says we shouldn't be like discussing whatever plans we have or any organization on social media at all.
Can I say something?
I'm not. If I'm ever involved in something, you need operational security, OPSEC. It's very important.
I was gonna. Can I ask something?
Sure.
Why was there such a backlash against Black Red Guard from some of the dogmatic MLs?
Because he doesn't go easy. He doesn't go easy on MLs and on what they think. He speaks his Maoist truth, you know, and people. I mean, for the Maoist position, he's just holding the principled stance of that position, and
I guess you're right.
I mean, I understand. I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, just like how I disagree with a lot of y'all. But I mean, it doesn't make me angry. And you know, dogmatism is something I'm not really a fan of at all.
Yeah, I disagree with him a lot, but I don't support people like Infrared or Anuka-san who are like shitting on him for some reason. I just don't get it. That's all I'm saying.
If I have to be honest, I think part of it is racism.
Yeah, no, I'm not
that they don't like a black man, you know, not doing what he's being told, and it's a kind of racism that these people have not actually overcame, you know, when they were former right wingers.
Right. Oh, Haas from Infrared.
Like for me, I feel like the most important thing to learn is not theory. It's anti-racist literature. That should be the first priority that any fair-skinned leftist should learn before they heavily invest themselves into theory. Because otherwise, I feel like racism is just going to, you know, be part of their, you know, worldview, and you're not going to serve the movement any good because you're never going to get, you know, the indigenous or black leftists on your side, or let's just leave the word leftist in general. Any of the black community on your side, if you're basically treating them like they're stupid children, because that's exactly what these people, you know, do. Yeah. Let's just be honest.
I was gonna say, for my required reading, I mean, I have this disagreement with probably a lot of MLs, but alongside Marx and Lenin and Engels, I think people should be reading Malcolm X, W.E.B. Du Bois, shit like that, and even other people of color like Che Guevara, Castro, Mao. I think it needs to expand. And that should be required reading, yeah.
I agree. I
think what, as Americans, a lot, and North Americans in general, Canadians and Americans need, white Canadians and Americans need to come to grips with, is the fact that the while the base issue, of course, none of us are idiots, is capitalism and the base economic structure. The defining superstructure feature, the central pillar of the superstructure is racism and to its core. And the superstructure defines the base just like how the base defines the superstructure. That's just how dialectic works. So if we don't tackle this main pillar
Mm-hmm.
of the capitalist system inside this imperialist core, then we are going to get nowhere.
I would
Absolutely.
agree. I would agree with you, but I just make one correction. I mean racism to colonialism / imperialism, because I think racism is more of a concept, and colonialism, imperialism is a material basis on which racism is carried out, if that makes sense. But other than that,
Yeah.
exactly, it is the mode of operation of capitalism in the quote unquote new world. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a contradiction that reason I don't use the word white because I reject that concept. I use the fair skin leftist because there's Jews that have fair skin, so that's why I prefer to use fair skin instead of white.
Yeah.
Fair skin leftists. I'm gonna die on this hill. Even if some of the stuff is liberal stuff, anti-racism should be the biggest priority when you're a new leftist in general, because you're not going to serve the left any good if you're not versed in the history of racism and colonialism. You're not going to do any good.
Well, and I
Totally
think this goes back to national liberation as well. I mean, for the dogmatic MLs right there, Lenin and Stalin talked about national liberation. You can't have socialism without national liberation. And in our country, the colonized people of the settler state need national liberation. The Black nation needs national liberation. The indigenous nations need national liberation. And this is just a necessary step. So it is a fundamental thing that we must combat in the imperialist core.
100% agree. Yeah.
I agree. I've had to be honest. I think I've run out of things to say. So, do you guys have any ending thoughts for the stream?
No, not really. Thanks for having me on, though. It was nice.
Thank you for coming on.
It's good to finally meet you, also because I've been a fan for a long time, and not even because of third worldism and communism, but also just Star Wars content, dude. Like, I'm a huge fucking Star Wars fan. So, seeing EU shit again. Like, I watched that video on the tales from the cantina, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, okay.
And nice finally meeting you, Connor. Oh, he's not here anymore, but
Connor Gillistraw. That's okay. I figured that was the case. Anyway, for all my comrades around the world, for whatever your orientation is, whatever your gender you subscribe to, thank you for watching. Solidarity to all of the oppressed peoples of the world. Long live Hamas. Long live the RRA. Death to Israel. Death to America.